For much more, let's bring in Tim Legler, El. And Legs, let's run through these key moves, starting with Oladipo. What does this now mean for the Heat in the East?
Well, I think the Heat looked at the Brooklyn Nets and said, look, this is the greatest collection of scoring talent we've seen at the top of any roster. We're going to have to add firepower. And you put him alongside Jimmy Butler, that's pretty nice. You also have Tyler Hero, Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo. That's a lot of playmakers at one team. But I think, Kevin, for me, I'm really curious to see how exactly this is going to fit with all of these perimeter pieces playing together. It's going to be a different look for Victor Oladipo. He hasn't been as good this year as he was the year he was going to be an all-star in Indiana. So let's see how that's going to work. I need to see it for a couple of weeks before I can really determine if that's going to work.
Clippers are in need of a point guard here, Legs. They bring in Rondo. Is that enough for Kawhi?
I love it because, number one, they need vocal leadership on this team. They're going to get it. They also need more brains of an operation on the floor. I think that's what Rondo brings. They have enough scoring, and that's why Lou Williams was expendable. They need a guy that makes people better, that has an uncanny knack for making key plays on both ends of the floor with all of that playoff experience. I love this pickup for the Clippers.
The Magic were selling. They're rebuilding, sending Aaron Gordon to the Nuggets. How much did Denver upgrade today?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team now I think can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the Western Conference because they already have two stars, legit stars, one an MVP candidate, Jokic. Michael Porter Jr. is that guy. He's starting to take that leap. 30 games from now, he might have arrived where he's doing it every single night as a third star. And now you add Aaron Gordon to the mix, and also defensively, what he's going to mean going up against the LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Paul Georges of the world. Huge pickup for Denver.
Another Magic big name on the move. Vucevic to the Bulls in a 4-player trade. Impressions of what Chicago did today?
Yeah, I love it because now Vucevic is going to put up the same type of numbers, but they're not going to be as hollow because I think people are looking at Chicago now with some interest. This is the best perimeter player Vucevic has played with. This is the best big guy that Levine has played with. You're talking about two guys now that you can go ahead and put in 50 every night in the scoring column. That's going to get them relevant in the East sooner rather than later. The question is, are they there with those teams at the top? Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Philly, Miami? Probably not quite. But this certainly goes a long way in knowing they're a piece or two away from getting into that mix. So Vucevic now has got to feel like a new lease on life, getting a chance to play with Zach LaVine.
The Celtics are 2 games under 500. They're sitting at 8th in the East right now. Based on what Boston did today, is it enough to make a run?
Look, I like Evan Fournier a lot, but no, it's not enough. When you look at what they're facing at the top of the East, obviously Philadelphia's a lot better this year. Milwaukee got better with some key additions. Brooklyn, we know what they added. Miami goes and gets Victor Oladipo. So it's not quite enough. Now, he's a guy that moves well without the ball. He's a very efficient scorer. They need some of that right now with the way they play offensively, but I just don't think it's enough. There's something that's not quite right with this team on both ends of the floor. I don't think they're tough enough or physical enough defensively, and I don't think they're a very efficient team offensively. Fournier will help, but it's not going to get them past what the top of the East looks like.
Yeah, for years at this point of the season, the Celtics were always in play for one of those top 3 seeds, and to see them barely in the playoff hunt at this point of the season is a little odd. One of the, speaking of odd, biggest headlines of the day, I think, was Kyle Lowry staying in Toronto for the time being. He's going to hit the free agent market following this season, and he's 35. Which team missed out most on not trading for him?
Philly was the team, and I know people in this area where I'm located, man, they were clamoring for it all day. It's a lot. He brings an intangible and a toughness. He brings playoff experience. Guy's a champion, and he brings that Philly toughness that everybody knew they could identify with. I also think it would have been tremendous to see Ben Simmons off the ball more than he is now. As well as he's played and as well as that team has played without Joel Embiid, I love when Ben Simmons has opportunities to get out on the floor and run, throw it ahead to him, get in that slasher role in the baseline, be the screener sometimes in a ball screen set with Kyle Lowry. I think he would have brought so much to this team and given them an added sense of postseason credibility that they really lack. So I think that's the team that really missed out, but I understand where Toronto's coming from. They'll still have options with him after the season in a sign and trade, or maybe re-sign him if he decides he wants to finish his career in Toronto. They didn't like the deals they were getting back. I think Philadelphia was the team that he would have had the greatest impact.
Even some people thought maybe they'd get in on the Norman Powell action. That's not the case either. They stood pat, if you will. Tim Legler joining us here on SportsCenter to break down who won and lost the trade deadline.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.